You're listening to the field report, and we have aerial drone images of Branson and Hollister, Missouri, and Power Site Dam throughout. You can just let the tape roll. I'm going to zoom in and look at these images, and you can get a broad picture of what kind of damage the flooding is already causing, because you're looking at these houses. They're almost fully submerged. And then you go to this, and we're going to zoom into this, just looking at this house here. It shows a lot, says a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the other images. Again, more drone images, aerial view, and we can see that almost these homes are fully submerged. And you can see where the water's cresting there. This looks like it's all over Lake Taneycomo. Bull Shoals Lake, I believe that might be Tanglewood. I'm not quite sure. This looks like Power Site Dam flooding out. And just looking at the bridge, seeing where the water's cresting as we go into more images at Branson Landing. This is from earlier. It could have changed. I mean, it's happening quite fast, and I am concerned, obviously. I'm looking at a broader view and zooming out, just giving you an overall view. At the very top, of course, is the strip. Okay, so Lakeside RV Park, and then more images zooming in at just what's going on in Branson Landing. We have other older, this is like, when I say older from yesterday, this is zooming into Branson Landing. And more there. Okay, so that's as many images we've gotten up to date. We really like to stay up to date, but if I can't, or I'm not able to, I'll put updates in the description box for those who've been watching some of my other videos regarding the Hollister and Branson area, regarding the normal levels and what they're looking at. I'm not quite sure. I will say this, the KY3 reports are pretty good, and they're on it. So we might be on the back end of it, but there's a lot of other YouTube channels and some other, amateur video that we'll try to get as much together and put it in the description box if we can. This is all amateur radio. We are amateurs, so we hope to do the best. We're trying to be as sensitive to what's going on, especially in that area and other areas that are affected by storms. Of course, we did a follow-up report in Canton, Texas. So again, as an amateur, trying our best to be very sensitive because of the concerns that are on the ground right now, and we don't want to interrupt whatever emergency services that, and obviously the plans that a lot of the community members or leaders or people in general are trying to put together. So we're just going to watch, and reporting from Beaver, Pennsylvania, it's really hard for me to give you the best view of it. Having lived in Branson and Hollister, I do understand what is going on, and I know that they do leave off the pressure of those levees, so it's pretty routine. The only concern I think most of us have is obviously the damage, and it seems like it's been a situation occurs there when you live in that area. I guess what concerns me is because of the levels. They are very high up, and knowing what kind of flooding that and the cleanup, on and on. If you lived in that area, you're pretty familiar with this, but for somebody that's an out-of-towner or doesn't know, or even like friends and family who might be kind of curious of what's going on, the way Branson is in that area, it's kind of reminds you of, actually kind of similar to Pittsburgh. It's in a valley. You're in the Ozarks, you go to Ozark High Mountain, and you dip down into the mountain, and there's Branson. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's kind of hugging in between. Well, actually mountains hug it, so it's kind of hard to describe it. But if people from my area in Pittsburgh, what the weather's like here, and you got Mount Washington, and then you got the city of Pittsburgh. It's kind of like a smaller version of Pittsburgh in a lot of ways. It reminds me of that. That's for anyone that's from my area, and family and friends that are curious, because we have friends and family that do live out there. or travel out there. Believe it or not, I was quite surprised. I didn't know that. So for anyone that does travel in that area, that wraparound over by the bridge, just from what it looks like, the RV park, it probably is going to all be closed out. So we're going to wrap it up here for this report. We will keep you posted. Any more information, we will put it in the description box below.